Detroit Motor City, Detroit Rock City, Detroit City of Tomorrow. Greetings from Detroit. Detroit lives, born in Detroit, grown in Detroit, believe in Detroit. Come play Detroit, follow me to Detroit, live Detroit, invest Detroit, ignite Detroit, Motor City burning, Motor City rising, Motor City casino, arise Detroit, say nice things about Detroit. I am Detroit, lost in Detroit, Jesus loves Detroit, save Detroit. Seed Detroit, hatch Detroit, pop up Detroit, Detroit I don't mind dying, down with Detroit, my Jewish Detroit, occupy Detroit, camp Detroit, reclaim Detroit, Detroit Nation, Detroit Future, Detroit City of Hope, Detroit State of Mind, come back to Detroit. Detroit Bad Boys, Hostile Detroit, Detroit 187, Detroit Muscle, Detroit Wild City, Detroit, Made in Detroit, Detroit hustles harder, murder capital, Tigers, Lions, run Detroit, hopscotch Detroit, surf Detroit, tweet ride Detroit, even Jesus hates Detroit, tour Detroit, Detroit people mover, outsourced to Detroit, imported from Detroit. I live in Florida but I love Detroit, opportunity Detroit, greening of Detroit, reimagining Detroit. Detroit Harmony, Detroit Soul, Detroit Techno Militia, Detroit Digital Justice, Detroit Institute of Bagels, Detroit Renaissance, Detropia, Detroit you wouldn't last a day here. We almost lost Detroit. We lost Detroit. Die Hard Detroit, Lemonade Detroit, Detroit Works. Detroit Evolution, Detroit Revolution, Detroit Rebellion, Detroit Soup, Detroit Sucks, Detroit Summer, Real Detroit, Pure Detroit, Team Detroit,